Greetings, my empire. Drezu here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be sharing with y'all my Magicka Templar PvP build that I'm going to be running for update 33. Now, Magicka Templar is a class that I always enjoy playing. I feel like Magicka Templar is one of the funnest classes to play in this game. And when I make my Magicka Templar builds, I have, a certain type of goal when I make the build. I want the build to perform a certain type of way to where in certain points in the battle, my Magicka Templar can be able to just be unkillable, extremely tanky, and heal all the damage that comes to them. And also at other points in the battle, be able to just shred opponents and get them up out the way with the quickness. You feel me? So with that mindset in my head, I made this build, and I feel like this build has accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I've really been enjoying this build currently. Right now this build has just been performing really well for me, and especially in open world PvP, Imperial City Cyrodiil. I've really enjoyed it. At a lot of points in the fight, I'm just unkillable when I don't want to die. When you don't want to die in this build, you don't have to die. You feel me? Because you're just that tanky. And at other points, I just shred the opponent. You're not going to have a problem, taking people out. You have a lot of damage on this build as well. So I'm enjoying this build right now. And this build, looking at update 33 and looking at everything that's going to change, I don't feel like this build is, going to perform any less than what it's performing right now in update 33. So before we get into the build, you already know, I want to ask y'all to hit the like button, subscribe, join the empire. You already know, helps me out, helps the channel out, and helps the channel grow. And without further ado, let's get into the build. So first, you already know we always start with the character sheet. I don't know why I said seat, character sheet. So looking at the character sheet, our max Magicka, we have 31k max Magicka, 1,500 Magicka recovery, almost 25k maximum health, 15k maximum stamina, and 530 stamina recovery. Now the recoveries might seem kind of low to you on this build, but once we get into the abilities, I'm going to show y'all why you're not going to have any problems with resources staying at all with the build. Just trust me, you feel me? Trust in the process and you will perform. I don't know what I just said, but unbuffed spell damage, we have 3,800. Spell penetration, we have 5,000. Now we do get more penetration from abilities and things like that, but we'll get into that once we get into that. Now back bar, let's show the resistances. So resistances on the back bar, unbuffed, 26k spell resistance, 22k physical resistance, and crit resistance is at 1,447. Now this might seem a little bit low to some people. Some people might not like this amount of crit resistance. They might say, oh yeah, you don't have nearly enough crit resistance. Now crit resistance is something that I been thinking about a lot, and basically I've come to the conclusion that putting a lot of crit resistance on a spec is actually detrimental to a lot of characters, because those traits you're putting on armor to crit resistance could actually be used to something even better that will probably benefit the build even more. Because in PvP, when you're fighting people, not everybody you fight is gonna have a lot of crit. They're not gonna have a lot of crit chance, they're not gonna have a lot of crit damage. They're gonna be running things like Magicka Random Brutality, which completely just cuts their crit damage in half. So in those cases, when you're fighting people like that, crit resistance is basically not a factor, and it's basically a wasted stat or wasted traits on your gear. So not having a lot of crit resistance, I feel like, and putting the stats towards something else is really good on builds. So I prefer to have, a lower crit resistance on my builds. Now let's get into the buff stats. So buff stats, buff resistances, spell resistance is at 32k, physical resistance is at 28k buff, and buff damage. Our buff spell damage, we have 4,570. Decent spell damage, decent to when and I don't even know what I'm saying. It's decent spell damage But once we get into the sets, I'm going to show you how you're going to really be bursting down your opponents and how you're going to really be getting people out the way in PvP. Now, going to the attributes, we have 64 into Magicka. Our race, we are Argonian. I really like Argonian on Templar. I feel like Argonian is a top 3 race on Templar. The passive just correlates with the class really well. We get extra healing as Argonian, which is good because we heal from our jabs, we heal from our ritual, and we heal from our ruin. And all those heals are going to be dang, my throat is dry. All those heals are going to be getting buffed with my Argonian passives. Argonian resistance, we get max health, and we get disease and poison resistance, which is really good. We're gonna be a little bit more bulkier towards DKs, night blades with poison, people spamming lethal wear. We're gonna be a little bit more resistance to that, and that's gonna be really good. And resourceful is one of the I really do like this passive. This passive is like, oh my god. So it gives us increased maximum Magicka and stamina, but when you drink a potion, you restore 3,000 health, Magicka, and stamina. This is really good when you pair it with triple pop potions. This is just so good because when you pop this with this passive, when you pop that potion with this passive, basically you get all your resources back. Basically, you get everything you need back because it's just so much, you got the triple pop potions on top of that. All your resources back instantly. So I really do like Argonian. I like it on Templar. Other good classes, races to run on Argonian is High Elf and Breton. I feel like the top 3 races for Argonian, for Magplar is Argonian, High Elf, and Breton. You know what I'm saying? All good races for this build. For the food we are running Ice Cream. This just gives us raw Magicka sustain stats. We get 4,000 maximum Magicka and 419 Magicka recovery. For the astronaut, we are running the Boom. For more Magicka sustain, we get 310 Magicka recovery. And we are Vampire Stage 3. Now, I feel like Vampire Stage 3 is the best stage to be on Magplar, or, to be on Vampire in general, because we do get access to Undeath, which basically is going to give us mitigations as our health goes down. So it's just going to make us super tanky in situations where we're getting jumped, we're getting outnumbered. We're going to be, really hard to execute and take out. So I feel like Stage 3 is the perfect spot to be on Vampire. Now, done with the character sheet. Now, let's actually get into the set. Actually, before we get into the sets, like I said, tripod potions with the Argonian pass is really good. I run tripod potions on this build. Gives us everything we need. Health, Magicka, stamina, and recoveries for all of those. So, yeah, that's the potions I run on the build. Now, getting into our sets, we are running the on our front bar, we are running the Magicka Lightning Staff. I have the weapon damage enchantment with Nernholm trait on the staff. And what the Magicka Lightning Staff does, just to summarize this whole essay, basically, you put a beam on your target that lasts for 10 seconds. It does flame, shock, and frost damage, and the damage is increased by 1% every second, up to 20%. And this effect can occur once every 10 seconds. So, this is the beam. Now, the Magicka Lightning Staff, I feel like it's a must on Templar, you feel me? Because it complements their burst rotation so well. And what I mean by that is, say, you're getting ready to burst your opponent down, put it up your buff, getting ready to do that person in. Put your debuffs, put this on them, get that boop, 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 boop. And all that damage that you did with the with the Magicka staff and your jabs and everything in general is gonna get copied with Purifying Light. All that damage is gonna get copied from Purifying Light, which is gonna do even more burst damage and put people at a dire state. It's basically gonna be an execute, and you're basically gonna kill people a lot of the time. And if you don't kill them and they still have a little itsy bitsy health left, boop, that's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do is a Kamehameha, bam, you're done. The person is dead. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Magicka staff is invaluable on Templar. It's so good. It complements the rotation so well. It gives you an extra tick that does a lot of damage, and it's gonna help purify and like the copy damage, do even more damage to your target. So yeah, Vagrant Lightning Staff. Now I'm running Nernhorn on it. A lot of people ask me on my build why I run Nernhorn a lot of my stuff instead of Sharpen. Now on this build specifically, I have a lot of offensive healing, basically healing while I'm attacking, puncturing sweeps. Is one of the best offensive healing abilities in the game. Now, if you don't know, weapon and spell damage also increases. Spell damage increases the healing of your Magicka base abilities. You know what I'm saying? So basically, our spell damages are gonna increase the healing we're gonna get from puncturing sweeps and just getting healing on the offense in general, and it's also gonna give us damage as well. So I felt like instead of opting in for just more damage with Sharpen, I feel like I wanted healing and damage as well, so I went with Nernhorn, just to explain to people why I went Nernhorn instead of Sharpen to opt in for more damage. Now on the back bar, one of the Swift, the Swift is one of the best. I feel like to me it's one of the top 5 tank sets in the game. I have the Swift Maul with the Absorb Magicka enchantment and defending, and I have the Swift Shield that has the Max Magicka enchantment and reinforced. And what Buffer of the Swift does is it gives us a line of maximum Magicka, it gives us a line of armor, it gives us another line of armor, and it reduces our damage taken from players by 10%. Boom. That's basically a major protection anytime we want it, basically. So when you're getting pressured a lot, you're receiving a lot of damage, you're getting jumped, you're getting outnumbered, go to your back bar, you're going to be taking a lot less damage, and you're going to be able to heal, and you're going to be able to sustain yourself really, really good. You know what I'm saying? Really, really fine. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like Buffer the Swift is a slept on set. I really feel like it's slept on, bro, because it's a free major protection. It's free. It's a free 99 major protection. Sets like what's it called? Steadfast Hero, you have to proc major protection when you cleanse an effect. This is basically just free major protection you're getting on the back bar anytime you want it. So I like the Swift. I feel like it's a really, really good self, and it's really helped me on this build. Now going into the body pieces now, on this build I'm running 5 light and 2 heavy. On the big pieces, the head, chest, and legs, I'm running the multi-effect enchantment, and on the little pieces I am running the max health enchantment. Now for our monster set, we are running the Pirate Skeleton. We are running Pirate Skeleton. Like I said, multi-effect enchantment. I have Invigorating on the trait. Don't worry about that. Act like that doesn't exist. I just need to change the trait on one more piece of the gear, and then all the traits will be good. But right now, I have Invigorating. You want to have Reinforced on 5 pieces of your gear, and Impenetrable on the rest. You know what I'm saying? On the other 2 pieces. Like I said, I'm moving away from end pin, because like I said, not everybody runs pin, a lot of critical resistance, so I'm moving away from it. So I feel like Reinforced is better because it works on everything. Critical damage or not, Reinforced is going to protect you. Now Pirate Skeleton. What Pirate Skeleton does, the first piece adds 1000 a line of armor. I'm not going to say the exact, you already know I don't like reading the exact stats because stats change. So the first piece gives you a line of armor. Then the second piece, what it does for you is when you take damage to your health, you transform into a skeleton and gain major protection and major defile, reducing your damage taken by 10%, but reducing your healing received and health recovery by 8%. This effect can occur once every 20 seconds. Now, the reason I like Pirate Skeleton on this build, because first, it's a major protection that's basically up like 90% of the time. 90% of the time in the fight, you're going to have major protection. You know what I'm saying? And stacking that with the Buffer Swift, that just gives you a 10% mitigations just flat from players. Comparing these two together, you're getting 20% mitigations. Pairing these two. Now, the downside to running this set, you're going to get a little bit of reduced healing, but that's nothing to Templar. That's basically that. I spit on that, you know, healing reduction. And we are an Argonian too. That healing reduction is basically gonna be nothing. We're basically gonna brush that off. We're gonna have enough healing to not even notice that, you know, healing reduction that Pyre Skeleton gives us. And the health recovery reduction, you already know health recovery is trash. We're a vampire. We don't really care about health recovery on the build. So the downsides are not really too bad, and the upsides are really, really good. Mage protection 90% of the time, paired with Buffer and Swift, 20% mitigations, unkillable. Now, on the body, what I'm running on the body is Ancient Dragon Guard. Ancient Dragon Guard, what this set does is it gives you a line of maximum health, it gives you a line of weapon and spell damage, it gives you a line of crit chance. Then the fifth piece adds 289 weapon and spell damage to you, while your health is above 50%, and it adds 3000 physical and spell resistance while your health is below 50%. Now this set is one of the best hybrid sets in the game. A little bit of damage, a little bit of tankiness. You're gonna get a decent amount of damage while you're above 50% health. While you're first engaging, you know, your target, and your first, you know, basically doing your moves on each other, you're gonna have that damage buff. But once you get into that range where you are about to die, you know what I'm saying, you're in execute rage, you're gonna get a resistance buff that's gonna help you sustain when you're about to die, when somebody's about to execute you, this, that, third. You're gonna have resistances to back you up. And it's so easy to get back to full health on Magplar that probably one, you know, breath of life, or one one breath of life is probably gonna put you back up to 50% health and give you that weapon and spell damage buff again. You know what I'm saying? So really, really good hybrid set is going to give you good damage while you're above 50%. Then when you're low in the execute range, it's going to give you resistances to, survive a lot of the, hits you're taking. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Ancient Dragon Guard is a really good hybrid set, and that's why I'm running it on the build. So like I said, 2 heavy, 5 light. You want reinforced on 5. And you want end pin on the rest. Now going to the jewelry, we have Swift Jewelry, spell damage, and arcane on all of them. And yeah. Now getting into the skills. So our front bar skills, the first skill we have is Puncturing Sweep. Now Puncturing Sweep, this is going to do magic damage to the closest enemy and magic damage to all other enemies. Each strike reduces movement speed by 40%, and you heal for 43% of the damage done with this ability. Now, Puncturing Sweep is going to be a spammable, and this is one of the best offensive healing abilities in the game. As you can see, 43% of the damage you deal with this ability is absolutely absurd. You're going to be healing a lot, especially like I said, we have a lot of weapon damage. You know, that's why I put Nernholm on my staff. We're going to get more, healing just from that. You know what I'm saying? So really good spammable, really good healing, and it's a snare too. It's gonna reduce people's movement speed by 40%, which is really, really good because a lot of people like to be Speedy Gonzalez in PvP. So you're gonna stop them a little bit with this ability. Elemental Drain, this is gonna be our source of major breach for 23 seconds, which is a really solid, time. 23 seconds is a solid, amount of time to have a debuff on the enemy. It's going to reduce their physical spell resistance, and it's also going to apply minor Magicka lifesteal, which is going to give us every time we damage the enemy we apply this to, us and our allies are going to restore Magicka. So this is just even more Magicka sustain, on top of the sustain we already have. Purifying Light, this does magic damage to the enemy. Then all their damage taken from you for 6 seconds, it copies all the damage. Basically, just sum this all up, basically the damage you do to the enemy while you have this active on them, it gets copied, and that damage you did to them while this is active is going to get 50% of that damage is going to get copied and applied to the enemy. So all the damage you do to a person while this is up, 50% is gonna get, they're gonna get hit with 50% of that, and it does amazing damage. It pairs really well with the Vatran staff, which is gonna put that beam on them. You're gonna have a lot of damage with this Purifying Light. You know what I'm saying? And when the effect ends, A pool of sunlight remains attached to the enemy, healing you and nearby allies for health every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. So this is a little decent heal. We don't really care about this. It's an okay heal. You know what I'm saying? You got to be close to the enemy. This and that and the third. But really, we here for the copy damage when we, you know, are in our burst rotation. Next, we have toppling charge. This is going to be our gap close. It's going to do magic damage. It's going to stun them. It's going to set them off balance. And it interrupts as well. So if, you know, somebody's, you know, channeling, if Sork is, you know, channeling Dark Deal, or anybody's channeling, is going to interrupt, which is a plus as well. You know what I'm saying? But this ability, gap close, is going to put them on their back. It's going to be really easy to, you know, burst them down while they're just flat on their back because of this ability. Radiant Oppression, this ability is one of the best executes in the game. Does magic damage over 1.8 seconds and deals up to 500% more damage to enemies below 50% health. Why I say this is the best execute in the game is because it is undodgeable. You know what I'm saying? When you get hit by this, there's no roll dodging out of it. None of that, you feel me? You just have this on you and you're gonna die. Roll dodge is not gonna save you. For our ultimate, we are running Crescent Sweep. This does magic damage to all nearby enemies and additional magic damage every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Enemies in your path will get hit for 60% more damage. So this is just, I like this ult because it's a cheap ult that does a lot of damage. So if I just need to get people out the way and add some more burst to my rotation, I use this. On this build though, I really don't use this ult unless I have to. I really like to use the ult in the back bar, but I'll explain it once I get into the back bar. But I only use this ult really when I really need to, and you know, the time is right to use this ult. It's cheap, does a lot of damage, it's effective. Next, on the back bar, first ability, we are running Honor the Dead. Now, Honor the Dead is going to be our main heal. It's going to be a crazy heal. You're going to heal you're going to heal yourself for a good amount of health. Then healing anyone who is below 75% health restores 18% of their ability cost every 2 seconds. So if we're below 75% health, or anybody you're healing is below 75% health, we're going to get basically a refund on resources with this ability. So it's going to be cheap. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be cheaper than when it's, you know, what the cost says. I know 3,100 Magicka is a lot, but it's going to get cheaper with the ability if you heal people under 75% health. Next ability we are running is Elusive Mist. Now, Elusive Mist, this is going to be our source of major expedition, and this is going to basically going to turn us into mist that we are going to be, that is, while we're in this form, while we're in this mist form, you feel me? I don't know why I can't talk today, but while we're in this mist form, we're going to be taking 75% less damage. Like I said, we're going to have major expedition. All disabling effects, immobilizations and snares and all of that is going to be removed from us. But while we are in this, we can't heal, and it's going to take our Magicka. It's going to take 975 Magicka every 1 second. Now, this ability, this ability just makes you unkillable, especially when you're kiting and a lot of enemies are chasing you. You use this. Now, on top of the 75% mitigations we get from this, while we have Pirate Skeleton on and Buffer of the Swift, basically we're going to have 95% mitigations while we're in this with both those active. 95% mitigations is absolutely insane. So it is going to be really, really hard to kill us, and we're going to be able to move freely and be able to kite people without having to, you know, constantly get out this form, because basically in this form we're going to be unkillable. So yeah, we're running Elusive Mist. Now, next ability we are running is Deep Thoughts. Now, Deep Thoughts, now this is the ability, you remember what I said when you was looking at the stat sheet? Remember when I was saying, oh, you're not gonna you know, have to worry about resources? This is why I say you're not gonna have to worry about resources. Deep Thoughts is an ability that I really, really love running. You focus your body and mind into a meditative state, healing you for health and restoring Magicka and stamina. 1,900 Magicka and stamina every 1 second while you're meditating. So basically, while you're in here, you know what I'm saying, you're in your circles, you're basically immortal in these circles, then you start healing. Boom. You start here. This is gonna give you health, and this is gonna give you your resources as well. It's basically a free resource button. This is what I call the ability, a free resource button. Because if I'm low on resources, boop, look how fast my magic is going back up. You do this if you're low on stamina. If you're using your stamina a lot, you're low on it. Boop. This is all you need to do. Get your stamina back. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, while I'm in this, you know, I could get interrupted. You can't keep getting interrupted while you're in meditate. You get interrupted once, you do it again, they can't interrupt you instantly. They gotta wait a couple of seconds. And while we are in meditate, going into Sigic order, the deliberation passive is gonna give us 30% mitigations while we're channeling a Sigic order ability. This is a Sigic ability order ability channel. So while we're in this meditative state, we are gonna get 30% mitigations. So when we're not in elusive elusive mist, and we're just meditating, getting our stuff back, and we have Pirate Skeleton active and Buffer of the Swift, we have 50% mitigations. Right now, you're looking at 50% mitigations. Right now, this is what you're looking at: 50% mitigations. Really, really good. It's gonna be hard to drop you when you're getting your resources back with meditate. Next, we are running extended ritual. This is gonna be our cleanse. It's gonna cleanse 5 harmful effects. And it's gonna leave a circle on the ground that heals us every 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Allies can cleanse, and it scales to your highest offensive stat. You know what I'm saying? So really, really good. One of the best cleanses in the game, and it gives us a really good heal as well. Basically makes us hard to kill stationary when we have this, up. Next ability, we have Channel Focus. Channel Focus is going to be a source of major resolve, which is going to increase our physical and spell resistance by 5,948. And we're also going to recover 242 Magicka every 1 second. So basically, when we activate this ability, it's going to give us what was 242 plus 242. Hold on. Let's actually I got to do this math in my head. 484. Basically, this is gonna give us 484 Magicka recovery. I'm happy I was able to do that math in my head, and I'm not dumb. So this is gonna give us 484 Magicka recovery, and while standing in this, we're gonna heal health every 1 second, which is gonna scale off our max health. So both of these together is gonna give us good heals while we're in there. Plus this, even more heals. Gonna be insane. We're gonna be healing like a madman. And for our ult, like I said, I only run this use this ult when I'm in, when I absolutely need to, but I usually like using Swarming Skyhound. Now what Swarming Skyhound does is it transfers us to a night creature that first we instantly heal to full health. While transform, your max health, magic, and stamina are increased by 10,000, and you heal for 17% of all damage you deal. So not only we're gonna be healing with Puncturing Sweep, and now we're gonna get 17% healing, or 16% healing for all damage you deal while we're in this form as well. Then the bats that's gonna swarm around us is gonna do magic damage, which we're gonna heal from because we're healing for 60%. So we're gonna heal from the bats. We're gonna heal from Puncturing Sweeps. We're gonna get heals from Vatrian Stab. We're gonna get heals. We're gonna get a lot of healing while we're in the Swarming Skyhound. We're basically going to be unkillable in the offense. We have a lot of offensive healing while we're in Swarming Skyhound. And this ult is just really, really good just to like bug out. You know what I'm saying? When you're feeling like, okay, I want to fight this person, but I don't want to have to go to my back bar to sustain. I just want to be on the offense the entire time trying to kill them. This is the perfect ult for you because you're going to be healing a lot on the offense, and you're probably going to be, just out pressure your opponent, 100% of the time. Probably the only time you're going to get really pressured in this form if you're getting jumped. A lot of people using down brick and stuff like that. That's the only time you're probably going to get pressured. And all you have to do is go on the back bar, hit a couple of Honor the Deads, and you'll be good. So Swarming Sky, really good. Love to run it. You know what I'm saying? Now, leaving the abilities and going to CP. So, going to CP, in the blue team, we are running Master at Arms, which is going to increase our damage done with direct damage attacks by 10%. We are running Biting Aura. That's going to increase our damage done with area effect attacks by 10%. So our jabs and our Radical Sweep or Radiate, I don't even know what to say it, our front bar ult. Wrathful Strikes, which is going to increase our weapon and spell damage of our abilities by 165. And Untamed Aggression, which is going to basically just give us 150 weapon and spell damage. Now for the red tree, we are running Relentlessness. What this is going to do is after we are stunned or feared, it causes us to gain major protection for 3 seconds, reducing your damage taken by 10%. Now, since we have major protection kind of like up 90% of the time on this build, you probably don't need to run this. I was playing around with running this because on the on the off chance you do get stunned in that 5 seconds where prior skeleton is not up, you still get this major protection buff. But you probably don't want this. You probably want to put this into rejuvenation. It's probably going to be the best place to put your CP into rejuvenation, even though rejuvenation barely gives you anything. It only gives you 90 of each resource. I feel like it would be better to put it than Relentlessness. This is just something I was trying, but you want Relentlessness. You want rejuvenation. Next we have Juggernaut. This is gonna, while we're a crowd control immunity, we're gonna take less damage, 5% less damage. So when we break out and stuff like that, and we're immune to CC, we're gonna take 5% less damage, which is gonna just increase our overall tankiness in general. We have Fortify, which is gonna increase our armor by 1,731. Our armor is basically resistances. Then we're gonna have Boundless Vitality, which is gonna increase our max health by 1,400 health. And Green Tree doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, that's pretty much the build. I hope y'all enjoyed, man. This Templar I've been really having fun with, and I really feel like it's gonna shine. It's shining right now, and I feel like it's gonna shine at update 33. Like I said, back bar, we could be as tanky as we want. We're gonna have a lot of mitigations on the back bar, heal a lot, just be overall have so much mitigations. The back bar in general be unkillable, and in the front bar we're gonna have a lot of damage, do our burst and just completely wreck people. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much the build. I hope y'all enjoyed, man. If y'all did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, join the Empire, and let me know what y'all think of the build down in the comments. I love to see what y'all think. If you have any feedback, let me know. And that's pretty much it. Dre's Empire out. I'm gonna see y'all.